But let's talk about Cleveland's upcoming game. They're playing against Cincinnati. And this is a big time game because the Browns are sitting at 4-4. Obviously, the Bengals 5-3. They were leading the division. They lose to the Jets. Kind of they got to hit this bounce back game. The battle for Ohio. Number 1 overall pick versus number 1 overall pick. Who do you think gets the win in this one? Because in my opinion, I think Cleveland's going to be able to pull it. I think Cleveland is massively underrated this year, which is so funny because I felt like they were overrated coming into the year. Like everybody's talking about them like this is a top 3 team in the NFL. And I felt like they're just not. And obviously they've dealt with some injuries and things like that. But Cincinnati has had their defense performing above expectations. The offense has obviously been very explosive. Very, very interesting matchup between these teams. Crazy passing game in Cincinnati, and then the ground and pound Nick Chubb and very stout defense with a terrific pass rusher in Myles Garrett. I mean, not just terrific. I think the best edge rusher in the NFL, in my personal opinion, in Myles Garrett. Who gets the job done? Is this finally the week where your whole I like Burrow over Baker Mayfield campaign finally gets to see like
mine
get that win? Yeah,
I mean, I do believe that. I feel like most people believe that now.
Oh, I know.
I didn't know that was my campaign though. Thanks.
It's your campaign. You've been telling me for so long. Oh, geez,
I like Burrow. I like Burrow a lot.
I know.
Here's what I will say. This season, Burrow to Chase has been amazing. Higgins has shown that he's a great downfield threat. Joe Mixon has had an amazing year. Tyler Boyd is an amazing slot receiver, one of the best third options. And you could maybe say he's a second option. He has a lot of catches, but he's a great guy to move the chains. Their offense has been really good. Their offensive line is improved, even though a lot of people really hated that Jamar Chase pick. The defense is playing a lot better, even though you might not know a ton of the guys' names. The Trey Hendrickson pick that I wasn't a big fan of because they let Dupree? No, not Dupree. Oh my gosh, I can't think of his name. Lawson. I was thinking of Dunlap, and then I was thinking Carl Lawson. They let Carl Lawson walk. Now he got hurt. He signed with the Jets, and they went and got Trey Hendrickson. And I thought it was a downgrade. Now we haven't seen Lawson this year, but Hendrickson has been really good for them. Jesse Bates is one of the best safeties in the league. They're pretty thin at corner. Playing the Browns, that's probably the spot that you'd want to be thin at. But I think it's a really, really like a coin flip game because it isn't Cincinnati. Most of the time I would give like the benefit of the doubt to the Browns if they're both healthy. But the Browns have not been healthy. They've had a ton of turnover. They literally ran out of tackles one week. I don't know if you know that, McCon. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. They ran out of tackles. Pretty hard to win football games when you don't have a tackle playing. So I'm going to give the benefit this week. It's hard. I feel like the Bengals have a lot of momentum. They did lose against the Jets, so that kind of got depleted. But
can the Browns defense stop the Bengals?
Yes. That's the thing.
Like that's the thing. The Browns defense, they got Denzel Ward, they got Greedy Williams, they got the Northwestern cornerback. I'm blanking out. Greg Newsome. And then obviously Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, John Johnson in the secondary. I think they also have Grant Delpit. I believe they're all healthy. So
Delpit might be banged up. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't see him on the ESPN injury report, but that's never too accurate. But overall, I think that like this is like the perfect matchup. People are like, "Oh, can the Ravens defense stop the Bengals?" No, the Ravens defense is like
I think the
worst
Browns
defense
are good,
to try and stop the Bengals or offense. The Browns are like, this is the perfect matchup between really good wide receivers versus really good corners and pass rush. So that's going to be really interesting. I think that's the matchup to watch this week. I don't know. Do you have what's another game?
What's the line right now? -2? -2 for the Bengals?
2.5 for the Bengals.
I just wouldn't touch that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Logan Wilson is their best backer. I think it's a tough game for the Bengals to win, honestly. I would lean Browns, but I'm not super optimistic. I think it's going to be – I don't necessarily think it's going to be a close game, but it's just a really hard game to predict just because we've seen the Browns so up and down. And the thing is also, like, even when you have injuries and guys come back, you still don't have that consistency that you've had. You don't have guys meshing. That's a big thing I don't think people recognize. So I'm going to lean Browns just because I do think it's a good matchup for them, especially cornerbacks, some of the edge rushers they have. But I don't know. Are you leaning Browns too, you think, just because of the matchup on
Yeah,
defense?
I'm thinking. I think this is one of those games that we see the Myles Garrett takeover, similar to Justin Fields, and how it was just like I feel like they're going to be all over Burrow. I feel like obviously it's a rivalry game, so this is going to be a very heated matchup. They've had some great games between these two, most notably the Thursday night football game. So I think this is going to be a great game to watch. Could come down to the wire, and honestly, Baker Mayfield is very good when games come down to the wire. Like he doesn't win them all, but he's always getting his guys in that position. Like I think one of them, the Thursday night football game against the Bengals, he literally drove them down the field and threw one of the best game-winning touchdown passes you'll ever see. I can't remember who caught the pass off the top of my head, but it was absolutely amazing. But then, he lost the game on Monday Night Football against the Ravens, but he still drove the ball all the way down, with very little time left. It gave the Ravens, I don't know, 50 seconds, a minute left, and they still ended up winning. But overall, I think that both of these quarterbacks, when the game's on the line, they're both very solid. But I think Baker Mayfield has done it before. I think he'll do it again. But I think it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, I agree. And